Hey folks, this is Studio, and I just want to say thanks to Reddit, Something Awful, Penny Arcade, League of Legends client messages, Twitter messages, Skype messages, a couple Steam messages. I have gotten so much positive feedback from the community and just support that I'm going to keep rolling with this daily. Second of all, I'm kind of sick right now, so a lot of the feedback I couldn't really do because I was just kind of lying in bed, blowing my nose. So this show will improve over the next few weeks and months. So just gonna start working my way towards that. Some stuff is feasible now, some stuff isn't. I'll have to keep working at it. And I would just like to say that this will be a short. So the format that really kind of works is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be a full length, 20 to 40 minute, episode where I'll go over a bunch of replays. This will just be a short that will discuss a concept that you really don't have to look at with replay or something just kind of short. So, yeah, today's concept is going to be the idea of self-evaluation. So, it's always cool to get a second opinion. Somebody can watch you play and be like, well, you're last hitting when the creeps have too much HP, so you miss some last hits and you push in the lane and then get to the enemy tower and you get ganked and die. I mean, there's lots of specific things that people can point out that you can't see as you're playing, because as you're playing, it's just hard to notice everything that's going around. But at the same time, you're going to be playing in every game. You're going to be playing in every game. Your friend who's watching, me, anybody, they're not going to always be there with you, and even if they are, they're not going to see everything you see. So it's up to you to go to your game afterwards and go, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? It doesn't matter if you won horribly and just destroyed them, or if you got smashed and went 0-10. You gotta go, what was wrong about this, or what was right about this? If it was right, you want to be consistent and try to be that strong. If it was a mess up, find out why you messed up. For example, yesterday I played a solo queue game, and I went, let's see, 171 as Sona. And looking at this game, what did I do wrong? I can easily go, okay, well, I was laning with a Vayne. Right now, in the current meta, Vayne's actually kind of weak, because when you're solo queuing, it's really easy to make a lane that counters Vayne. They had Corki and Leona, so the second they hit level, I believe, 4, they started getting aggressive, and we just couldn't stop them, because Vayne just doesn't have the means to stop Corki Leona. Um, do I blame Leona, or not Leona, do I blame the Vayne? I will say Vayne was not a good pick because Vayne just is not a good pick. Do I see what I did wrong? Yeah, well, I learned the hard way that Leona's E, her gap closer, is really, really good against Flash. If you flash and you've been hit, but she hasn't reached you, she will follow you. It also explains why some other counters to it work, like Corki's Valkyrie is really good against it because there's a delay, so she'll reach Corki, but he'll fly away afterwards. So now I know against Leona, be careful with Flash. In lane, should I be playing more aggressive? Kind of. I should make sure to be pressuring Leona as much as possible early. I kind of slacked off on that. They got kind of passive. I should have just, counteracted this by trying to keep up that pressure and just kind of sticking in your vein. Just getting pokes on Quirky, making them want to act. Replays are really good about this, and I know a lot of people have trouble looking through old replays because they're just like, well, that's when my teammate made a mistake, that's when I made that mistake, but really if my teammate hadn't made that mistake, well, whatever. And of course, you always want to look at things that you could have done better. For example, if you won top lane, check your CS. If if you don't have a solid CS, well, you know what? You want to be able to balance your harassing and killing with good CS. If you kill top lane and got ganked by the jungler, then you got to think, why did that happen? So a lot of things you can learn about over time just through seeing it happen to you in games. But then you'll start to make realizations. For example, Vladimir is hard countered by Ryze in mid. This is something I didn't know. I got into a game, I went up against NY Jackie and got demolished as Vladimir. It wasn't even funny. But then I came out of that game with a little bit of knowledge. I went like 0-10. It was horrible. I just could not do anything. And now I know that if I ever want to pick Vladimir and they have a Rise on the enemy team, either I have to not pick Vlad or I have to make it work. Preferably by asking for jungle ganks or going top lane. So what this really comes down to is I want you, the viewer, the lovely audience watching me right now, this very second. I want you to go ahead. If you have League of Legends replay, I want you to open up the last replay you've been in. I don't want you to look through it, and I want you to write down or think about what you did right and what you did wrong, and then look at what you did right and see ways. Look at what you did right and see ways you can improve it. Look at what you did wrong and see why that went wrong and see how you can make it better. If you don't have League of Legends Replay, well, download it, leaguereplay.com, fantastic program. It's got a few kinks, but right now there's no other alternative, so you gotta roll with it. Anyhow, this is Studio, or actually right now, Sickio. Tomorrow we will be returning to a longer show. It will be featuring Rincent, the career top Twitch, and Jungle Mundo. We'll be looking at his Twitch and a few other replays with a focus on top lane aggression. So this is Studio, signing out. Don't get sick is going to be my advice for today. Adios.